First, I'm gonna make a TikTok just so you know everything is legit, and I do it for the content for the people. So I'm gonna make the TikTok starting now. Yo, what is up, guys? It is my underscore Lob 26 here, and I'm gonna be making my Premier League predictions for the upcoming Premier League season. As you can see right here, we're on the career mode, and this is how I'm gonna be displaying which teams are gonna be placed in which spot, and then I'm gonna place it right there in the comment section so you guys can see my Premier League predictions. As you might already guess, I have Bournemouth at 20th. So you guys have to come watch the video to see the rest of my predictions. And hey, I might even post it in the comment sections of this video. But please come check it out. Click the link on my bio, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright guys, so I just made the TikTok. I'm letting it upload. And cool, I just made it. So yeah, I'm gonna be, well, that took me 3 minutes, okay. So this is gonna be a YouTube video anyway, so for the people that are watching after the stream has been ended, this is gonna be just my rundown of what teams I think are gonna stay in the prep for the following season. That's why you see the championship rather than in Bournemouth being in the Prem. Because, well, actually I could do it in, so let's do this way. I could actually switch it, I forgot. So put Norwich in the championship, Nottingham Forest in the Prem too for Burnley, and then Fulham for who was it? I forget. Watford. And then I think we might actually make their signings and stuff in another video. Like we'll actually put them into the game. I think I might do like a whole transfer thing to see where they actually land. That'll be a cool video where they actually land in my predictions. But yes, starting off with Bournemouth. I don't actually think they're gonna make it to. I don't think they're gonna. They're gonna be. They're like the Norwich kind of to me. Norwich always goes down. They're like a boomerang club. That's the term. When they just float up and down from the like they're too good for the championship, but not good enough for the Prem. That's them. And I just don't think they've reinforced enough. They've to mine and they have Scott Parker. He was with Fulham and he got them relegated. And he got him promoted. Like I just don't think they're gonna. I don't think they've made the signings like necessary to stay in the Prem. But yeah, so that's my 20th. 19th is actually another team I brought from the championship up is Fulham. They've had a quiet window. And they lost Fabio Carvalho to Liverpool, and he was one of their key players. They're another boomerang club. Every time they come into the Prem, people always back them to stay in the Prem, and they never do. So I'm just going with what is obvious and people don't want to do, and a lot of people are Fulham fans. And yeah, I'm gonna just get them relegated again. I don't think they're gonna they don't have it enough in them this season. And yeah, they've had a quiet window, and I'm also doing this a month before the Premier League actually begins. So, or like not a month, but like half a month before the Premier League window begins. And at 18th, what am I gonna pick? And it's gonna be Southampton. I think they're due for a relegation. They've also had a semi-quiet window. They've had a few signings. They signed one of the kids from Man City. They made another signing too. I forget what's his name. But yeah, they've made a few signings, but they always go with the youth. As you can see, even in their youth development, it's on high. But yeah, they made a few signings, to be fair, better than the championship clubs and even Leicester. But I just think they're due for a relegation. They've been in the Prem so long, and I think it's finally gonna catch up to them where they get relegated. And yeah, I think they just don't have enough in them, even though they have some good players like in James Ward-Prowse and Livramento. I forget his name. The center back, he's left-footed. I think he's African for sure. I forget what his name is. But he's also solid. But they also signed the goalkeeper from Man City, who's apparently supposed to be good. But yeah, I just don't think even then they'd be really good for the championship. I think they're due for a championship run. And that was my 18th, and 17th is literally Nottingham Forest. I think they've made some class signings. They've signed Niakate from, I believe it's Mainz. I don't know, the German team. They've signed Niakate from a German team. They've signed Dean Henderson on loan, who's already had some experience in relegation battles. And they've also signed Taiwo Anwani from I don't know how to say, but the Taiwo, who's Nigerian from Union Berlin, who was signed from Liverpool previously. So he might have some Premier League experience, very little though. But he definitely has top flight experience. And they haven't lost too much players. They lost James Garner, obviously. I don't know if they've signed him back on for another loan. They lost Samba to Lens, I believe it was. But they've already replaced him with Dean Henderson, so they should be fine. And they've also signed Omar Richards from Bayern. And I don't have my phone on me, so this is straight off the dome. But yeah, I like to at least believe one promoted team will actually stay in the Prem, and I think Nottingham Forest, just because they're new to the Prem, and well, new to the Prem in this 21st century era. I just believe they had more signings than the previous two championship clubs, and they're gonna do just enough to stay in the Prem. And then I believe that was 17th. I believe my 16th was. I'm gonna check my phone to see if I'm wrong. I do believe it is Everton though, and it is. Where's Everton? Everton. That's not even. I haven't even talked about managers yet. And the previous, I don't know any. Scott Parker. Oh yeah, I did talk about Scott Parker. Hans Hultel, which is Southampton's manager, actually pretty good. I hope he leaves Southampton at some point. But Frank Lampard. The only reason he was ever good at Chelsea was because he had good players, which is why he was able to secure top 4, like almost guaranteed each time he was there. Yeah, and then he ended up getting sacked. But yeah, I think I actually wanted to put Everton in relegation so bad, but they've actually fixed one of their problems. Was in defense. They signed Tarkowski from Burnley. He's actually pretty solid. Just like they signed, I forget, no, it's Keane. It's not Will Keane, or it might be Will Keane. I don't know. But Keane from Burnley also, from a couple of years ago. But yeah, Tarkowski is solid. They have Pickford, who, as much as people slate him, he's actually pretty decent in the Prem as a Premier League goalkeeper. But I don't think they're gonna do as well as they have in the past. They lost Richie Richarlison, and he was like one of their basically icons. And I didn't put them to get relegated because they still have Dominic Calvert-Lewin. When on his day he's actually pretty good, but his injuries have derailed his career a bit. But yeah, I don't believe they'll do as well as before, even with the amount of money. It's just their manager isn't as experienced as Carlo was, and as other managers have been. Even Rafa Benitez, but poor guy, he did terrible when he came back. But yeah, I don't think they'll get relegated, but I don't think they'll do. They're not gonna be in Europe for quite a while, or even in the mid-table area for quite a while. And if they do better, then good for them. But 15th was another team I didn't think was gonna do all that well, but I still think will stay in the premise. Brentford. They lost Ericsson, which people say might actually get them relegated for losing him to Man United. But from what I've heard, he didn't make too much of a difference when they didn't have him before as to when they did have him currently. He did influence them. I'm not going to deny them that he is a really good player. But I think Brentford, with their signings of Strakosha on a free, who was played in Lazio, and he's pretty good, at least from what I've seen his cards get on FIFA. But yeah, signing Strakosha, this doesn't even matter that I don't know him because of FIFA, but he's a top flight keeper, top 5 league keeper. They've also signed Aaron Hickey, which is another solid signing. He's coming back to the UK, and I believe they signed someone else. I think he might have been a midfielder. I'm gonna actually check. FotMob, which is where I did my Premier League predictions originally. FotMob is a great app. They obviously don't pay me to say this because they don't even know who I am. But FotMob is a good app for all your footballing needs. And oh, they didn't sign a midfielder. I think they did probably, but let me see. Oh, they signed Keen Lewis Potter from Hull, another winger. But yeah, they haven't lost too much. They just lost Eriksson. They still have their striker. I forget what he's called. It's something with a T. Is this something with? Nah, it's. I'm thinking of Tyrone Mings, I think. But they still have. What is his name? Ivan Toney. It was a T. Okay, yeah, they still have Ivan Toney, so I think they're just gonna do enough again. They shocked the world last season, but I don't think they're gonna shock them this season. Everybody knows what they're about. I don't think they're gonna get relegated like what Sheffield did when they came around. But yeah, 15th Brentford, solid. For 14th, Crystal Palace. Where is Crystal Palace? Yes, I'm gonna make this one short and sweet. They lost Conor Gallagher, but they brought in a replacement in Ducore. I haven't heard anything about him. I don't know if they're even the same style of player. But yeah, they've always been a mid-table team to me. They might be in the lower mid-table this time around. But yeah, they lost Conor Gallagher, which is why if they would have brought him back, I would have probably placed them higher. But they still have much of their key team, like Gahey and Mitchell, and they brought in Sam Johnston. Yes, they still have Joachim Anderson. Yes, and a bunch of their forward line was actually good, like Otter Edward, Mateta, Zaha, Michel Elise. They just have a lot of good players still. Eze. But yeah, Crystal Palace is staying. Is here to stay. Now the next team for 13th is Brighton. They lost Basuma. I think they're gonna lose Cucurella to Man City, and if that happens, that's gonna be pretty detrimental to their team. And they just haven't signed in enough. They haven't brought in enough players. I think they're not going to do as well as last season because I think they might lose Cucurella. And if they do lose him, that's what is causing them to do worse. But if he stays, then they might do better, which would be actually good for them. But yeah, I don't think they've strengthened enough. And yeah, I just think they're not gonna get relegated, but they certainly won't do as well as they did last season. And for 12th, Wolverhampton Wanderers, or just Wolves. But also, I think they did a lot better than most people would have anticipated last season. I don't think they're due for another. I don't think they're due for a relegation either, because they signed João Moutinho on a contract extension. They still had Ruben Neves. They still have Jose Sa, and their defense is solid. They still have Bruno Lage. They still have Raúl Jiménez. They haven't strengthened, but they also haven't lost too much either, I don't think. Let me check my transfers. Oh, they brought in Nathan Collins, right? And they loaned out a few players, but they were key to begin with anyways. They haven't lost key players, which is the good thing. They brought in another center back from Burnley. Yeah, I just think they're gonna be solid enough to stay in the Prem. And now we're getting into where it's kind of guaranteed that they'll stay. And the other team I have is Leeds United. I think they're gonna do a lot better this time around because the signings they've made have been amazing. They've brought in Mark Roca from Bayern Munich. They've brought in two former teammates in Salzburg, and the American kid, I forget his name, and then the Austrian, I believe he's Austrian. But they've been very Jesse March signings. They brought in Christensen, I believe he is. Oh, he's from Denmark. And then Brendan Aronson. They brought in Tyler Adams as well. Luis Sinestra from Feyenoord. But they did lose, unfortunately. They've lost Rafinha to Barca and Calvin Phillips to Man City, who could be said they were their best. They were like one of their best players ever to grace their club. But I think now it's gonna be more of a team rather than of individuals. So they might not have like I don't think they have star players like Daniel James. He's not world class. Like none of their players I think are world class, which will actually benefit them because I think they'll work more in the team. And Jesse Marsh is more of that equality style coach. And yeah, I just think they brought in replacements for Calvin Phillips. They've brought in replacements for Rafinha. I think they have more depth than they did before, and they've used the money well, which is why I think they're gonna place 11th. And for 10th, I do have Leicester. They've had a silent window. It is the most silent window they've ever had, I believe. They've literally not signed anyone. Literally anyone. But they still have Brendan Rodgers. They still have Schmeichel. They still have Jamie Vardy. I think they're now a mid-table team. They're not going to be challenging for Europe, I believe. Not anymore. Not at least Champions League. They'll probably compete for Europa League and Conference League spots, but I think they're due for mid-table now. They've been shambolic to their standards, and if they just keep doing what they're doing, they're at least guaranteed mid-table, and they might get Europe for Conference League. Who knows? Because they don't have any European football this season. But for 9th, sorry if I'm loud, but I'm just excited. For 9th, West Ham. They have Europa Conference League, which I think will harm them. Even though last season it didn't do that bad. They were in Europa League and now they're in Conference League. But they also don't have the greatest depth. They brought in Areola permanently. They lost Ryan Fredericks to Bournemouth. They didn't have too much depth to begin with, and now they're losing it. Yeah, I just think they have Declan Rice for another year at least, and they still have David Moyes. But they need to strengthen, or else it's literally gonna happen the same. Though it's what happened to them last year is gonna happen again this year, which is why I have them 9th. They're not gonna have enough depth to compete on all fronts, and it's gonna cost them European football. And for 8th, I do have Aston Villa. A lot of people put them highly last year because of the signings they made, and I'm gonna do the same thing again this year. Just because they have those signings and more, so that I believe they should, like with the players they have, like Boubacar Kamara, Diego Carlos, Felipe Coutinho, the Jamaican guy, what is he called? But yeah, him on the wing. They have they have enough quality to at least get 8th, which would give them Conference League, I believe. Either Conference League or I think, yeah, Conference League. No, 8th doesn't give them anything. 7th is Conference League. But they should at least compete for Conference League or Europa League, but at least get 8th. They should be top of the table, because they have enough quality to do that. They haven't lost anyone, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, they haven't lost anyone of true importance. Yeah, let me name the signings they've brought in. Ludwig Augustinsson, Robin Olsen, Diego Carlos, Boubacar Kamara, Philippe Coutinho. They still have Vigne, I forgot. Callum Chambers has actually been great for them. They still have Danny Ings, Leon Bailey, who is what I was talking about, and more. I just think Emiliano Martinez, great goalkeeper. I forgot about him. And they have Stevie G. I think he's the weakest link. I would say, even though I love Steven Gerrard. Yeah, I think he's their weakest link just because he obviously has only had like a season and some like half a season and some change as a Premier League manager, and he might be their weakest link. Who knows if they sack him? But yeah, they should have enough to do 8th. Now for 7th, Newcastle United. You have to put them 7th. They did amazing January and after. They got like the second most points they could have behind Liverpool. Eddie Howe has transformed that team with what he had and the money he was given. Like Guimaraes, he's brought in Butman, he's brought in Nick Pope, he signed Matt Targett on a permanent. This man is literally, they're giving him the keys to Europe. He's gonna get Europe at least, and if he does it, that's kind of a flop in my opinion because of all the money they've spent. And Joelinton is a new player now. Yeah, I just think if they don't get European football this season, then it's gonna be a pretty tragic season for them, because they should get it. They should. You don't get that much money and then not hope to at least be competing for Europe, especially since what did they finish last year? Like, they finished top half. Let me see. But anyways, yeah, like they should at least get European football. Yeah, they finished what, 11th? So if they don't even at least get minimum 11th, then that's poor, because they've had a better team and they've had more time. So yeah, Newcastle 7th. Now 6th. This is gonna have hurt a lot of these fans, but I don't care because I despise them. But Arsenal is 6th. I think they really choked it. They proved to the whole world they could choke on the big occasions when they didn't get Champions League last season. And so many of the bigger teams have improved in their squads. Like your Man Uniteds, your Tottenhams, your Chelseas, your Liverpool, your Man Cities. They've improved massively compared to Arsenal. And they didn't have Europe last season, and now they have it this season. I don't think they'll get Champions League unless they win the Europa League, but they have another team from England that I've placed higher on this list that's also competing in that competition. I just think last year was the year they were gonna be able to do it, at least in the top 4 front. They could always get it through winning the Europa League if they actually put their uh, game plan towards that. But other than that, Prem wise, I don't think they'll do better than 6th or maybe 5th. But yeah, they've made good signings though, like Gabriel Jesus. Zinchenko is just confirmed. I don't know much about Fabio Vieira or Marquinhos. But from the other two, Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko are pretty good players. So yeah, I have Arsenal 6th. And in 5th, I do have Manchester United. Yeah. I think the top 4 managers are better than Erik ten Hag. And I think they're already more established with their team than Erik ten Hag is gonna have. They're having a pretty good preseason, but that's preseason. No one should really care about that. But yeah, they've had good signings, I guess, in Eriksen and in Lisandro Martinez and in Tyro Masiala or Malicia. I forget what his last name is. But yeah, they've had a few signings, but they still haven't brought in Frankie de Jong, who I believe is essential to their team. They lost out on Delete. I don't know if he was ever in the race to sign for them, but yeah, I just think Erik ten Hag is gonna have to have a rough time in getting Champions League, because I think the other 4 managers and their teams are better than Manchester United's, and the only way they'll get Champions League for me is through winning the Europa League against Arsenal, against other people. But yeah, I don't think they'll do better than 5th. Certainly not 5th. They'll probably get 6th or 5th, but I don't think they're getting 4th. Not a chance. And in 4th, I do have Spurs, which a lot of people doubted them last year, me included, but that's when they had Nuno and they didn't have Conte at the time. Like, they were trying to sign Conte, but they didn't get Nuno. I mean, they didn't get Conte, they got Nuno. So now they have Conte, and now they have Kulusevski. They have I forget his name, Bentancur, and they have Bissouma. They have Richarlison. They have Kane. They still have Kane. They still have Son. Lloris. They signed Jet Spence, another wing back. They have Perisic. And man, I just think they're gonna replicate what they did last year, and if they don't, then that would have been pretty poor, because they should be competing in the Champions League now. They should always have been in the Champions League. I don't know what happened to them, just the managers. But yeah, they'll definitely be in the Champions League. They might win a domestic cup, maybe, if they put their attention to winning a trophy finally. But yeah, I think Spurs 4th is a good option for me. And then for 3rd, it's literally just one team for me. Chelsea. Yeah, they've had good signings, and Koulibaly. They're trying to sign Ake. They lost Delete. They brought in Sterling. Yeah, I just think Tuchel is a good enough manager to get him 3rd, at least 4th. I back him more to win like Champions League rather than the Prem. For me, like, I back him more to win cups rather than the Prem. And yeah, their team is solid. They did lose Rudiger and Christensen, but they've brought in Koulibaly. Like, they might have. He might be a little old, but look at Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva is old as hell, and he's done wonders for them. So age is necessarily not the biggest thing anymore. For at least in my eyes, for the Prem anymore, it's not a big deal. Look at Ronaldo. Oh yeah, Ronaldo's still at Man United. They have him. That might be detrimental to their spot too. But yeah, Chelsea third. And the biggest deal of all, Man City are wow, they're right next to each other too. Who am I gonna put first or second? And actually, I'm gonna go first, and then I'm gonna do the first position first, and then explains why I picked them first. And the team I'm picking, which is my favorite team, cause I don't care, it's my prediction anyways. Liverpool. Liverpool are gonna win the league, and I'm gonna say why. Cause I think it's actually gonna be not too much of a surprise to everyone, but I think Liverpool, in my eyes at least, have cared much more about winning the Prem in recent years rather than the Champions League. They've won it once, and we've unfortunately lost to Madrid last season. But I think in the hearts of Liverpool, they much rather win the Prem, because we're the most dominant team in the Champions League, like English wise. So we don't have to prove that we need to win the Champions League again and again. We need to prove that we need to win the Prem again and again. Which is why I think now more than ever we're gonna try to win the Prem, especially with our new signings like Calvin Ramsey, Fabio Carvalho, Darwin Nunez. I just think we're gonna be competing for Prem pretty heavily, and we want to win it. And yeah, I just think that's why they're gonna put their full attention in the Prem. And yeah, I believe Liverpool are gonna win the league. And second is literally my opposite argument. Man City want to win the Champions League. They've never won it. They've spent so much money doing it. Pep wants to win it for them. That's why Erling Haaland went to Man City to win the Prem. To win the Champions League. It's literally, yeah, Liverpool and Man City, they want to win their own cups. Liverpool with the Prem, Man City with the Champions League. That's why I don't think, as much as Man City keeps winning the Prem so easily, I think this year finally they're gonna put their attention towards winning the Champions League rather than the Prem. I think the way Pep rotates his squad is definitely gonna matter for when he tries to play Erling in the Champions League. And yeah, he's gonna want to win it. So I think he'll finally stop trying so much in winning the Prem, and he'll put his attention toward the Champions League finally this season. But yeah, though that is my Premier League prediction. It's been 40 minutes. But yeah, let me just give a rundown through my entire team. I'm gonna just leave the Premier League winners on the screen here, but let me read it out. So Liverpool, I have winning the league. At second, I have Man City. At third, I have Chelsea. At fourth, I have Tottenham. At fifth, I have Manchester United. At sixth, I have Arsenal. At seven, I have Newcastle. At eighth, I have Aston Villa. At 9, I have West Ham. At 10, I have Leicester. 11, I have Leeds. 12, I have Wolverhampton. 13, I have Brighton. 14th, I have Crystal Palace. 15th, I have Brentford. 16th, I have Everton. 17th I have Nottingham Forest. 18th I have Southampton. 19th I have Fulham. And 20th I have Bournemouth. I'm also gonna put it in the comments right now. Literally copy and paste it from my notes. And damn it. I just cut everything. I just cut the whole thing. Oh man, I have to do it all manually on my YouTube. But yeah, I'm gonna just do it in like set each 20 comments, I think, just so I have. It'll just make my life easier. Yeah. So Liverpool. Nah, I'll just make it as one big comment. Nah, I'll do it separately. Liverpool 1. Man City. Chelsea. Man United. Oh no, Tottenham. I'ma just put Spurs. Fifth, Man United. Sixth, Arsenal. I even have him in my head. Seventh, Newcastle. Eighth. Oh shit, I gotta go back. Who did I have eighth? Damn it. Oh, I had eighth for Aston Villa, right? Aston Villa. Ninth, West Ham, I believe. 10th was Leicester, I believe. Eleventh was who? Leeds, right? Leeds. 12th was Crystal Palace or Brighton? Wolves. 13th. Brighton. 14th. Crystal Palace. 15th was Brentford. 16th was Everton. That's why I might be biased in saying that I don't think they'll do well, but I think they will do enough. They had a pretty horrid season last time. But yeah, Everton. I despise them, but they're not gonna. I want them to get relegated so bad. Yeah, they proved to me that they won't. Uh, 19th Fulham. I'm sorry, Fulham. You guys never do it. You guys never do it. And Bournemouth. I literally have the first and second team getting relegated, and the team who qualified through the playoffs getting just above. It's because they made the better signings. Like, the other teams are slacking. But yeah, that is my Premier League prediction for the 2022-2023 season. Please comment what you think of my ball knowledge. Is it good? Is it terrible? What do you think of my standings? They're all there. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for today's stream. Thank you for everyone who's gonna watch it, cause there was just one viewer I think in this whole stream. But yeah, thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, comment. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.